Hello, Planet Earth. Dan Chung here again from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And, well, today I've got a serious topic. It is probably the most serious topic in anybody's life. Death. So I went to a funeral yesterday. It was for a family friend, known for a very long time. I could say my whole life, that's fair to say. Very good guy, dedicated family member, dedicated to his church. Dedicated musician, like hell of a drummer, you know. This guy inspired and like created offspring upon offspring of drummers. Like I'm telling you, he was here for 40 years, and within that 40 years, he's probably created double that in drummers, or at least inspired the drumming, and you know what I mean, like those kinds of things. And even a friend of mine. Even a friend of mine that visited church when I was younger and saw him drum and, you know, heard the styles and that kind of thing. Even that was reflected in his music years later. Like, it's you know, things like that. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool the influence that somebody can make on the planet. Now, you know, I got to shout out, you know, R.I.P. Wayne Simpson. R.I.P. the Mad Drummer. You know, like I said before, you spawned many drummers, many people, even me, hell, even me. I'll think of drums and I'll think of Bethel-style drumming. And who is the originator of Bethel-style drumming? Wayne Simpson. That's what's up. That's what it is. But yeah, today's topic is death. I'm going to talk about types of burials, types of what happens to the body after. I mean, I'm not going to get graphic. I'm not going to get nasty or anything like that. I mean, we all generally know what generally happens in some circumstances after death. But I'm going to go through a couple here, and let's take a look and see how we do it around the world. Now we have the standard burial. That's what a lot of us in North America, we're very aware of burials, where we put the body in a casket and bury it underground, roughly 6 foot something. And yeah, that's generally how we do it in North America. I mean, Christians do it. It's done in Judaism, Islam does it. I'm pretty sure other people do it too. And pretty much it. In the ground, everybody sees them going into the ground, and that's usually the hardest part right there. Just to see the reality of the individual that you once know is now forever laid in the ground. That's the reality of it right there. I mean, if that's the custom, you know, that is the reality of it. You can basically, if you're one that, you know, is involved in that custom, you can essentially say that that is your fate one day as well. Just like anybody else in that custom that does that. Judaism, Islam, Christianity. You know? Back in the day, they used to do a funeral pyre in some customs, like ancient Greeks or something like that, where it's like, dude dies, they like make a nice little platform, lay him out, you know, set him on fire and release him to the sky. These days, we call that cremation. We'll do that in a very efficient oven, and after which we'll take the ashes and put them in a nice little urn so the family can keep that. I mean, it's efficient, definitely works space-wise. You can fit a lot of cremated bodies as opposed to buried bodies. And then after, the family can put it in a nice little urn, or they can take it and sprinkle it about, or they can do a little bit of both, or, you know, personally I'm a fan of cremation myself. I could see myself getting down with that. Also, back in the day, they also used to, some cultures would mummify. So I'm sure some of us have heard of this before, where the dead body is taken, and organs are pulled out, stuff like that, and wrapped up, you know, maybe greased up or something like that, and boom, trying to preserve that body. I mean, in most cases, they failed miserably, but at least they tried. You know what I mean? At least they tried. Nowadays, they got like airless coffins. They can deal with that. Like Lenin was in a coffin like that, and who else? I'm sure other people like Mao Zedong or something like that, just going hard. Why are they all communists? But anyway. Basically, I think people that mummify and preservations, they you know, they're not ready to let go, but they really want the children to see what this guy looked like. Either that, I mean, really, that's how I call that. That's me. You know, check this one out. Tibetan monks will dedicate their bodies to vultures and other animals. Pretty much, just take them, put them on the ground, and let the animals have them. Really, I mean, it's half and half. I guess up in the Himalayas they don't have like lots of firewood, and like I'm pretty sure it's rocky, so you can't just bury them and shit out there. But I can see how it kind of developed into something where it's like, because what I read, it was like basically saying it was their last physical contribution to Earth, pretty much. And like I can see how that all comes into play, like geographically and like belief-wise. Like, you know, it makes you wonder if the geography shaped the belief, which then created the custom. It makes you think. Interesting stuff, I've got to say. Here's one too. Some cultures, they will just straight up bury the person where they went down. Imagine that in Brooklyn. I wonder if crime would go down in the ghetto if they practiced that. How annoying would that be to be walking around Kingston, Jamaica, having to hurdle over over piles of dead bodies where they were getting dropped. Just everybody knows, just constant reminders of where people died. We have fatality signs in Edmonton where car accidents happened and stuff like that, and you'll see a little sign, you know, kind of looks like a coffin in a way, and it says fatality. And that's just to make people think, you know, to drive wiser and try not to die, that kind of thing. But yeah, imagine having to lay everybody down where they were. Now for all our green-friendly friends out there, we've got ourselves these days they're doing a green funeral. Basically, you're burying yourself in a biodegradable box in a woodland or forested area, so that your elements can then contribute to that forested area. Makes sense. I mean, hell, I could get down with that. If weed was legal, I would totally get down with that. I'd be buried under some weed, on some King Solomon shit, just doing that like that. That's how I get down. But, until weed is legalized, I have a different plan. I'll tell you that at the end here. I think it's pretty cool. I was talking about this with my cousin yesterday, so. Now, it doesn't really matter what religion or what race or color or creed or whatever, you could be agnostic, you could be extremist, you know what I mean? But like, pretty much everybody has some type of ceremony. I mean, there's a extremely large majority of us who do have some type of ceremony or have some type of formal departure, you know, peace out, Chung, you know, kind of thing, you know. That happens to most people. I mean, even in the army, if somebody dies in the army and their body is no longer attainable or something, there's usually some sort of service or something. You know, in the case of single deaths or, you know, low number deaths, not counting like extermination of like villages or countries or something like that, most people throughout history have had some type of service to send them off to say goodbye, basically. A gathering of folk, whether it be one or two to a few hundred. The funeral I went to yesterday, it was grand. I mean, it was fucking awesome. Wayne, you can tell a lot of people loved Wayne. You can tell a lot of people were there to show their love and, you know, just honor his memory by at least being there to witness, you know, just at least being there to see the family, to see them through. And another thing, his funeral was also broadcast on Ustream, being Ustreamed at the same time, so it was awesome. The place was, a lot of people were just there. It was pretty long, but that's because there was a lot of love for the guy. I mean, there was a lot wanted to be said. I'm sure people wanted to go up there and say even more kind things about Wayne, because he was just that kind of guy. You know, it's one of those things where I'm pretty sure everybody could have went up there and talked for like 5 minutes, for 10 minutes about how awesome of a guy he was, kind of thing. But that's the thing though. Like, a lot of people want their funeral to be, they don't really want people to be sad. They want people to just honor their memory. You know, I mean, personally, this is the way I see it. Why be tripping over a dead person? Because you're pretty sure a dead person's not going to be tripping over you. Like, especially because they're now dead and they realize how finite life is. So, if they were a spirit, I'm pretty sure they'd be like, stop tripping, man. Like, life is too short, pretty much, basically. For that kind of trying not to swear too much in this one, because just to honor Wayne's memory. Now, as for me and my funeral, You know, if I were to leave this earth at some point, I would want my funeral ceremony to be the future equivalent of a Jersey Shore fist-pumping party. Step into the building like, yeah. Just roll in and they're like, yeah. Woo! Seriously, like, I don't know, you probably even forget the black clothes, man. Forget about it. Just wear your own clothes, do your own thing, come on through. Just get crunk. Just, you know, that's what's up. Now, I do have some instructions to be done with my body. I currently feel this is the coolest thing to do with my body after I die. If if weed isn't legal. If weed is legal, then I'll go with the green funeral where I'm buried under a nice little patch of weed, and I'll do it King Solomon style. But if weed is not legal, like I was saying before, this is what I want, and this is what I think the cool thing to do with my body is. First off, I would like to be cremated, after which I will be filled into little things and given away to people. Well, you know, just given away. I'll be pretty much, it's like at my funeral, you can like take me home in a doggy bag. It's like, alright. It's like I died and I ended up going home with 100 girls in one night. That's what I'm talking about. That's the way to go out right there. But then there's more I want to be done. I want some of that cremation to be put at the end of like fireworks. And then at the end of this party, just go out and just watch me just put me in the sky. Just everywhere. I think that's better than getting buried in the ground. That's me. I mean, you know, you can go down into the dark ground, or you can go up into the night sky and lights. You know, that's the way I see it. How's that sound? That's just me. What do you think? Anyway, but yeah, go home with 100 girls in one night and get, you know, shot up in the sky in lights. That's what I'm gonna call that. Yep, I think that's official. If I'm not getting put under some weed trees, that is my number 2 right there. Yep, that's what I'm saying. Alright, well, let's see. I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I've got to say. We'll say R.I.P. Wayne Simpson one more time. You are loved and admired by many, and you will be missed as well. Today's random ending is going to be... I don't know if it's me, but I think this makes me look fucking majestic.
Spreading like a virus. Warrior surrounded by peasants, so you should call me your highness. All my arrogance, but it's getting embarrassing. Have moving the game. I'm showing my ass. Embarrassing, don't even bother. The demon, those niggas sons of the beginning to the falls. I like that. I'm handing out apps for the next one. His career ruined on smack.